With Kawhi Leonard returning to the court for the first time since March 31st, I was extremely interested to see how this Clippers team was going to look in Game 2 after their great Game 1 victory over the Mavericks. Well, the Mavs, of course, bounced back to tie the series at 1 game apiece, and today we're going to break down what both teams did well and poorly in Game 2, as well as what both teams need to do if they want to win this series. If you guys enjoyed the video, though, I'd really appreciate if you give it a like, as well as subscribe if you're new here. So let's jump into the game footage now and start off with this set from the Clippers that I'd like to see more of. Harden catches it and Paul George curls off of Zubac, and you have Kawhi and Man spaced near the right wing so there's no late help, and there's no switch, which leaves PG open for an easy bucket. While I like the schemes and ideas that the Clippers had to try and disrupt Luka's rhythm, they'll need to do better, as right here, Dallas has Washington screen for Luka, which forces the Harden switch, and look how this whole area is open now, which gives Luka the space to drive and draw the foul on Zubac. This was one of the many times that the Clippers got lucky that Dallas didn't make them pay in Game 2. Luka gets the handoff and Plumlee is in a drop, and then Plumlee realizes he has to switch into the matchup, and he was active on the ball, and the Clippers were showing help, but Dallas couldn't make them pay. The Clippers continued drop coverages against Luka, and Dallas countered by throwing in plenty of empty corner pick and rolls, which will be a huge key for Dallas if LA continues that coverage. The left corner is empty with Kyrie on the weak side, and Kawhi is in to help, but nothing was there late. Two huge things the Clippers need to continue were shown here on this play, which is the great ball movement and Harden's drives. Harden's gravity pulls 3 players into his vicinity in the paint and leaves Man open for a 3. Luka countered the Clippers' defensive scheme here great by having Lively screen for him, and the Clippers turned it into a late switch to protect against the roll, but Luka swings it, gets it back, and makes LA pay. The Clippers worked early to try and get the ball to Kawhi, but on this play there's a great denial from Exum, and Kleber shows help on the catch, and there's a kick to Westbrook who drives, but the great help from Derrick Jones Jr. causes an empty possession to end the quarter. The Clippers constantly sent 2 to the ball versus Kyrie in pick and roll situations during Game 2, and this was a good adjustment from Kyrie as he drives left to drag Zubac and then stops. Then it becomes a 1 versus 1, and he gets right to his spot and rises up for the bucket. Dallas had success with the empty corner pick and roll as shown earlier, so they went back to that while working to attack the Clippers, putting 2 on the ball against Kyrie. Zubac is at the level, and Lively does a good job of getting right to his role, and Kawhi is helping, but there's no low help and a foul is drawn. The Clippers kept doing what they had to try and get Kawhi the ball at the elbow or the mid-range, and here they get it to him at the elbow, and watch the Clippers players cutting. Westbrook from the top, Zubac snakes to the other side and Powell clears the corner. Then once they're done, Kawhi drives left and gets this tough shot to fall. Even when he wasn't driving just to open players up, Harden's drives were key when he took it himself also. After LA put 2 on the ball versus Kyrie so often, you see Zubac is in a drop here and Kyrie sees the space and just goes right into the pull-up for the bucket. Clippers coach Ty Lue showed solid defensive scheme versatility in Game 2, but Dallas also adjusted very well. Here Zubac actually switches onto Luka, and Luka drives and kicks to Dennis Jones Jr., who gets a tough one to fall and make the Clippers defense pay. In the second half, the Clippers stayed aggressive versus Luka in the pick and roll. Zubac is at the level here, which puts 2 on the ball, and Lively gets it on the roll, skips it to Kyrie, and the Clippers recover, but that has Zubac on Kyrie, and he goes right to work. Gafford has got to be better for the Mavs, as he was scoreless in Game 2 and only had 3 points in Game 1. Here Gafford screens for Luka with Zubac at the level and 2 on the ball, then Gafford gets it on the short roll, and the Clippers are in early to rotate, and Gafford's got to finish this lay-in. This was great defense from Dallas for the most part. But they gotta watch their backs as Kawhi just slipped in and got this rebound. The transition defense definitely wasn't aggressive enough against Kyrie as Kleber screens for him and the Clippers just stare at him as he pulls up and hits a 3. Here, Jones Jr. screens to get Harden onto Kyrie, and Luka is 1 pass away. Kawhi's showing help early at the nail, and it actually looks like a switch and double, but Kleber tries to cut to mess with the rotations and ends up hitting a 3. This here was the shot that put the game out of reach for the Clippers, and it's a shame because aside from potentially a switch or double, I don't know what else you could do to stop this. So So this is a game where I liked a lot of the schemes that both teams threw out there, and ultimately I think the fact that offensively the Clippers could have used more than, of course, just 15 points on 7 for 17 shooting out of Kawhi, and overall as a team could have shot better from 3 and afforded to turn the ball over a little less was what ended up being the result of the game. With the series shifting to Dallas next, it'll be interesting to see what changes Ty Lue can make for the Clippers, as they looked great in their Game 1 win on Sunday. But at the same time, the Mavs cut down the Clippers' once 29-point lead down to a 12-point final score on Sunday as well. So I think it'll be interesting to see if the Mavs use Luka and Kyrie correctly once more in Game 3, as well as for the rest of the series, and could keep the Clippers on their back foot. All I know is the rest of this series should be seriously entertaining. I want to know what you guys think about the LA Clippers, the Dallas Mavericks, or anything relating to this series or topics we talked about today down below in the comment section. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I am out. Peace.